Listen up here. The restaurant industry is grueling and unpredictable, just like this show, from the front of the house to the back of the house and all in between. We will turn up the heat, you turn up the volume. I'm Chef Antonio Caurana. Welcome to the Tell All Podcast, The Burnt Hands Perspective.
This podcast contains explicit and potentially offensive material. You've been warned. Now buckle up, bitches. Let's go. So who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck am I? I am Chef Antonio Caurana. I am a long-time chef, if you will. I guess you can call it that. I've only been a chef.
Or if you won't.
What's that?
Or if you won't.
Or if you won't. No, it doesn't matter. So I've been a chef for going on 30 years if you're going to talk about professionalism in the kitchen of getting a paycheck for cooking. So a chef, I don't know when that was. I think I got that title maybe in the last 6 to 7 years when I was actually able to produce what it really takes to be a chef. In the eyes and perspectives of everybody is different, but there's really only a couple of real true explanations of what a chef truly is. And that, the best is the results of it. So with that being said, being a chef, probably 5-6 years with the term. Cooking for a paycheck, most of my life.
So why are you doing this and why now?
Why this?
Why the show? Why now?
The show is to reach out to all the people. So the more I go and the busier I get, the more businesses that open, the more things that fail. Everything happens, and there's everyone has their opinion. Everyone has their viewpoints. Everybody's a professional. Everybody's a fucking critic. Everybody's a food writer all of a sudden. So this is my way of coming back to people and explaining our perspective of how things really happen. The fantasy, all the dreaming of all the shit that everybody's writing about or think they know so much about. And these everybody's I'm talking about are the Yelpers and the Instagrammers and all the, what do you call them, influencers or lack of influencers or whatever you want to call them. We all have our own names for everything, just like they have their way of walking into this place or my places or any restaurant for that matter, talking about how they have the right to judge and everything else. So why now? Now's the time that we have all the technology now. We have all the resources, whereas this wasn't a thing 10 years ago. We didn't have this thing. We had to get written on in magazines. We had to have people come to us. We had to have food critics, real critics, acclaimed critics talk good about our restaurant in order for it to be spread. Well, with all this technology we have now, we can have a voice and kick back a little bit. And we have a lot of shit to say, trust me. We have a lot of shit to say. And I say I'm representing probably 75% solid of what the industry people are really thinking, going through, and experiencing. Then you have the other 25% or whatever the percentage is there in the math of people who are still in fucking fantasy land. And they'll catch up, don't worry. Because fantasy land lasts about, as long as a fantasy until it blows up. And then it becomes real quick.
Yeah. Well, I think people know you. They know your persona from the restaurants, but they don't know that much about you personally and where you came from.
Fact.
So I think it's funny when people hear or they make assumptions of your personality or, what type of person you are. But your roots in the restaurant and the food came mostly from family. And that was like, how old were you when that started?
Oh, man. So, yes, family, my family, huge in food, but not so much as not like myself now. They weren't gallivanting around town looking for the best restaurants. Couldn't afford that shit. Yeah. That wasn't a thing. You know what I mean? But good food in the household, good food traditionally, good Italian roots. My father was a great cook. My aunt my grandmother, everybody everything we did was based around the food. Yeah. So that is what sparked me into the food. And I think as I grew, recreating that nostalgia is where I kind of fell in love with it. Amongst other things, my first job in the kitchen, my first influence when I was young, high school, getting into the cooking brought me instantly, boom, just like this. It was like it went from loving food to now working in an Italian restaurant, the best known one where I was. And there was a gentleman there who owned it who was just this bright light whenever he walked in the room. He was very well known, very well respected. His name was Joe Graziano. It was a small little restaurant in Lisbon, Maine at this point. And all the high school kids had to work there. We all worked there. We had a lot of fun. We all started
like a
in the
rite
dish
of passage.
Rite of passage,
yeah.
Yep. And rite of passage for everything, not only just being in the restaurant world, just being cool. You either did that or you landscaped or whatever you did,
Yeah.
So I had loved food from growing. I just wanted to get in that. So I was scrubbing pots right from the bottom of the barrel. We're talking about 14-year-old kids working for $3.75 an hour at that time. We didn't care. It was just a great time. It was, and everything about that influence is where I went, and I just couldn't stop since. Right from there, I went to a vocational program in high school because I sucked at school. I couldn't fucking add. Still today, I don't add. The only thing I add now is ingredients. So that's all I got, man. So I have a really fucking huge passion for food, which started at trying to chase the dragon of when I was young, and that smell, the tomato sauce, the pasta, the ravioli, everything that we had, that smell, the chicken cutlets on the top of the table just waiting to be eaten at room temperature, the lemon slices over the grill, every little thing mattered. Even something on the grill with a rosemary chicken where most people would put barbecue sauce and just throw their chicken on the grill. Ours was marinated with garlic. You could smell this shit. You know what I mean? And starting to chase that, evolving into now chasing more and more and more. Then I developed a passion for food. Yeah. The food is what kept me in the restaurant business. The restaurant itself could go fuck itself at that point when I was growing up. Everything about it, the people, the bosses, the time, everything about it was a gruesome, grueling experience in a sense, Yeah. Up all day, sweating all night. The only reason you stick around is because you either love food and passion or you don't have another choice. Yeah. And that's obvious in the end result of the cooking anyway. Yeah. So went a little off track there, but it's just an endless barrage of information, you know what I mean? Of how much, why I'm here. Yeah. What the passion is, where it comes from. We can have show over show over show of that because everything strikes. There's so much in it. We're just going to continuously have footage of nonsense,
food and craziness, and we're gonna dig into a lot of that, like in the upcoming episodes about the restaurant industry. But when you left there and came, like you went from Maine, did you go right into the Navy? Was that
right out of high school, right to boot camp, so I graduated. My mother took me on a trip to Florida to see my uncle. We hung out, and as soon as I got back from that, I got on a plane and went to boot camp right in Great Lakes, and that was that. So I went from there to Navy, and I didn't want to cook in the Navy. In my egotistical mind, even when I was a kid, I didn't want to go cook to the masses like that. It wasn't something I was into. I had already, at this point in time through high school, I had already won an award. I've already gone through vocational programs, cooking schools. I still remember a bunch of high school kids in this elaborate vocational cooking kitchen. I mean, it's still one of the better kitchens I've seen today, still. And we're in there doing competitions and learning from these two gentlemen that were the teachers there. And I still remember them. One was a baker. And another one was the chef, and he was a great guy. Ended up being one of my best friend in high school's uncle, so I had a little connection there. Anyhow, at a very young age, before even graduating, I was exposed to one of the best restaurants around, one of the most popular restaurants around.
Kind of set the standard.
It put something in me. And I'd already been eating the best freaking Italian food that I could have because my family was introduced it to me. Yeah. So I was chasing that dragon, I'm going to use that term a couple times. But
it's your drug.
It's my drug, for sure. Yeah, it's a drug.
The main drug.
Yeah, it's a drug of choice, man. It's the fuel. It's everything that happens,
Yeah, but then, I mean, being in the military, obviously, coming from, free spirit, Maine, kitchen life, going into the military, having to be regimented, go through that shit, and then you finally ended up here in Virginia, and that was what year?
1994.
God.
I ended up here in 1994. Yeah.
So, fast forward, when you came back to this area, got out of the military, I think a lot of people don't even know you served that follow you online, but you went into the restaurants here locally in Virginia. Correct. And that was kind of getting back into where all of us, and again, 25 years ago, were pushing you to do more and to cook. And
Factual, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we were we made you cook for us when we were drunk all the time because it was really that good, and you didn't want to do it all the time because we were trying to force you to, but you started to do the restaurants here.
Well, we got to remember, we didn't have the ingredients, we didn't have the money, so
we had no money.
All the things that everybody wanted to cook was great and ideal, but we didn't have the money to go buy these ingredients because it's not like a kitchen where you have random stuff laying around. So there was a lot of things like that. I moved here, got out of the Navy. As soon as I got out of the Navy, cooking wasn't the first thing on my mind. Yeah. Because I didn't really know anybody around here outside of that. Until one day, I walked into a little Italian restaurant in Virginia Beach, and that place ended up becoming, and unbeknownst to me, somewhat of a mentorship. And the owner of that, her name was Annalisa, and she's, I looked at her almost like a motherly figure. Of course, I have a mother, take that wrong, but however, it was a very influential person, and I didn't realize it at the time because I was too fucking young, and I was too ignorant and arrogant in a sense. And I don't know why I would be arrogant. I think arrogant in life, just an asshole, you know what I mean?
Slightly cocky.
Yeah, slightly cocky, I guess you can call it whatever you want to call it. But I didn't realize her influence on me as I went. And as I traveled and as I keep going and as I work, and now we're talking 25, 30 years later here, right?
Yeah.
In that time span of going from what I was doing to where I am now with all the shit in between, she's still one of my most influential people because she was a single mom. Her kid and her child ended up being one of my best friends still to today. We just don't get to see each other as much, but we're going to work on that. However, we're still very close as we can be with everyone being as busy as we are.
Yeah.
But Anna, now her daughter Victoria, Andrea, even Marco, the youngest, I learned a lot from them as a family. She was a single mother running this restaurant. So when you do that, you have to run the restaurant in a different way. Mm-hmm. You don't have the financial backing. You don't have the institutions. You don't have the fucking all the investors and all that stuff. So she had to make sure this worked every day. So you're dealing with the bullshit, the riffraffs, the illegal people, the junkies, the druggies, all that shit. And there I was in the middle of it all. I remember there was times I would be throwing up from being so hungover, she wouldn't let me leave because I had to cook lunch, and she would put the trash can next to me to make sure I wouldn't leave the line. And some of it was because I needed to be there, but a lot of it, I'm sure, I felt like was a life lesson. Like, no, you asshole, now you're going to learn. You're going to learn today.
Yeah.
And I did, and I learned quick. But everything she did as far as the struggle, right, is what I learned from her. And took that on. And the food, of course, that's a whole different story. Her and her family are probably some of the best chefs or non-trained French brigade style, educated through the schools chefs. These are true grit, some of the best chefs I'd put against pretty much anybody. I mean, they're really talented.
The food was
people.
good. We remember the food was good.
The food was great. Yeah, it was great. So anyway, I still talk about that time, because that's a huge part of my life here. Yeah. Of course, I went off and did my own. Of course, I didn't get to where I am today just off of that. That was just a huge piece of it, right? And then the rest of it kept going. So, it got me to go to Italy twice a year to study. It got me to go to Europe. It got me to go to cities all across the country, working with chefs, meeting chefs, working with a Michelin chef here and there just to stay up on that. Of course, that gastro type of cooking is not my style. But it is very, very important to experience it and learn it and respect it.
You said, and again, I guess I should say why I'm here. So in that time in your life was when I met you, and that was in 1999, so 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was when you were starting in that kind of journey. And then you said about all the things that happened in between. So there's a lot that happened from that until now.
So people don't know here, we're going to call you KC.
Yes.
My off-air voice of reason or non-reason, depending on where we are. We've known each other for 25 years, right? Mm-hmm. And we've stuck by each other's side. And you have your beautiful family, and I went off and had my family. But in all of that life, we've always been able to keep in touch and say hi and do that. So here we are now, still kind of working together here a little bit. It's fun. It's a good time. So for everyone out there listening and everything, you're going to hear this mysterious voice in the background. That's our lineage there. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. So they don't, there's some random chick just popping up in the background
all
the time.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Exactly. My little, on the good shoulder sometimes? Most of the time.
Yeah. It depends on the day. And I stuck with your degenerate ass for a long time. Yep. So let's talk about that part of
degenerate I was.
Yes, because...
Yeah. Didn't you try to convince me one time and when I was...
oh, God.
I was I was roommating with one of your friends. We won't mention names here.
Roommating.
I was rooming. No, really.
Not
a
mating,
roommate.
but roommating. Yeah, got
Not
it.
room. Right. I rented a room from her, right? And I was working so much. All I was doing at that point in time was saving up for a Harley.
Yeah.
And that was in 2000.
I already had my Harley.
You already had one, yeah. I was saving up. So I would go to work and wait tables all night and then cook during the day. And all I did literally was walk to work, walked home. This was 8-9 months. And I saved every fucking penny and bought that motorcycle cash. Anyhow, I would sleep on this bullshit single, what were those one person? Full?
Twin
Twin bed.
Yeah.
No mattress.
No bed frame.
No fucking bed frame. On the floor, stuff everywhere, chef clothes everywhere. Smelled like a rotten boot. You know what I mean? The inside of a fake leg or something. It was fucking gross. So that's where I started there, and here I am now. So we go back.
Full circle. Full circle. Yeah. So we knew we throw through.
Move that ass in a circle. What'd you say?
Throw that ass in a circle. So the bike thing, I think a lot of people, so explain to everybody your affiliation now, and that was kind of a process to get to that.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. So my motorcycle world is just as strong, if not stronger. I have a huge life on the outside of this world. So I am a Hells Angel. I'm in a Hells Angel Motorcycle Club. Very proud to say it, and I have no regrets whatsoever saying that. And that is something that's always going to be part of me. It has been for many, many years, almost as long as I've been gone from here.
Yeah.
So it's about 17 years. So following that course is something that has actually brought me more, that actually lined me the fuck up. It tightened me up and straightened me up in life because I was on a shitty ass path.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother episode, whole nother show. But so being in that, going through the prospective period of all that and everything without getting into too much detail about that, that is what really put me on a straight and narrow as far as being able to use my fucking head and ground me, because I was responsible now for a bunch more than just my goddamn self.
Yeah.
And that was a huge thing.
Like a sense of belonging.
A sense of belonging and a sense of accountability.
Brotherhood kind of thing.
You didn't belong if you're not accountable, right? So if you could belong to something and still not belong to something, but if you really want to truly belong to anything, whether it be in the kitchen or in that or anything else, you have to really hold yourself accountable to those that you're committing to.
Yeah.
And that's taught me that. So that helped me come through this. The military did, boot camp did, that got me ready, but to a certain degree. I mean, everybody, as you grow in age, every little faction you go through, you get through stronger and stronger until you get to the top of where you're trying to be with all that knowledge. Yeah. But the motorcycle club stuff, yes, you'll see me on my motorcycle. Yes, I'll ride it to work. Yes, I have no friggin' qualms about it. Yeah. Yes, people ask me about it. Yes, I get side-eyed. When I come through, when I'm leaving work and stuff in a full restaurant, I have my patch on. People just saw me as a chef. Now they see that and they're all like, what?
Yeah.
A lot of people find it fantasizing or whatever word you want to use.
Well, because the TV shows, because all these TV shows have come out with the motorcycle clubs and gangs and all these things.
All suck ass. Who cares?
Yeah, and you have a lot of opinions on those shows.
It's all nonsense. It's exactly what all's you are, I am whatever you say I am type of scenario, and that's what they do. They say whatever we are, and that's the end of it. Who gives a fuck? This is what we're talking about here. You know what I mean? So
But that's a big part of your life, so I think people need to understand that there's more aspects and I guess other random things they don't know about you.
Sure.
Let's see. So
I'm multifaceted.
Hockey.
Love hockey. Played hockey all my life. Played throughout this whole thing. I've always played hockey.
Yeah.
In the last year or two, I've slowed down just because, one, I'm getting fucking old.
Time.
Two, mostly is time.
Yeah.
Whatever time I do have right now, I don't have it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like a dangling carrot, except for it's a watch. You know what I mean? And that motherfucker's just swinging. And
get there.
Yeah, so that's it. So hockey's a huge thing for me.
Can we bring up the salty thing?
Sure, bring it up.
I don't know if people know this or not. I don't know if you know this or not, that you were the mascot for one of the hockey teams.
Yeah, I was a professional mascot. I got paid to run around like a fucking moron. And I was a moron, let me tell you what.
You were good at it, though.
Oh, I was good at it because I was drunk.
You were so good at it because we all knew, because, again, you don't know who those mascots are because they have two. Now they have two. There would be one who would be on the ice and there's one walking around.
I was the one on the ice.
He was skating because he's really good at skating. And we knew it was you. So, it was funnier to us because you would just act like a total fool.
Yeah, I was twerking before twerking. Who invented twerking? Anybody? Anybody? Did anyone invent? Who in here invented twerking?
Twerking on ice. That's the new Disney special. Yeah. Twerking on ice.
To work.
With the
we twerk to work.
Twerking for the weekend.
Twerking for the weekend.
Yeah.
But check it out. I was a fucking mascot, and I was on the ice skating around. And then when I had my friends in there who knew I was there, we would just have these personal jokes, and I would be doing things that were probably not acceptable today. I remember we had that big slingshot on the back of the golf cart, and I would throw T-shirts.
I know we got a lot of T-shirts.
Yeah, so the Zamboni would go by, and I would rub the T-shirt in the water on the ice, put weight on it. And I would just smash these people come on. and it would hold these targets, and I would smash them right in their heads.
Yeah.
It would beam off them.
That was like the heyday of downtown Norfolk. The Norfolk Admirals. Yeah. So
we would go to the games pre-game, get buzzing. I'd be in that fucking mask like Will Ferrell in Homeboy in that movie. That was me in there. And Blades of Glory, right?
Yeah.
And then I would be in that thing going ham. And then after that, we'd all go out partying downtown. And everybody was there. It was just a great time. It was a great time in life.
It was a good time. And
I was cooking I was cooking at that time too. I'd have to escape out of there. And go and play in a game.
I think it is ironic to people because I think they do pigeonhole you in these industries as being like one type of personality, especially chefs, because chefs have to have a personality. So you're either
the smoking cigarettes,
the asshole,
I don't smoke,
or you're this or that. I don't know. To me, it's funny because I don't think I don't know if anyone who even works for you knows that now, except for the people in this room. But
yeah, there's a lot of things I'm sure we'll expose in my life that a lot of people don't know about. But look, there's ups and downs and everything. I've had some really good times and I've had some really fucking bad times.
Yeah.
And it all comes out in my cooking. And really, that's what this is about. The burnt hands perspective is just that. My fucking hands are burnt from last night.
Yeah.
That you can't see them here because the grease splatter is covered by tattoos. But my hands hurt. You know what I mean? We had a great friggin' shift. Every shift I come out of there, my guys, ladies, whoever's working in the kitchen, we're all coming out of there burnt out, burnt up. We're crispy as shit at the end of the night. That's just the way it is. And, and
battle scars.
Battle scars.
Yeah.
So that the burnt hands perspective is a perspective from my burnt hands. It's not all glorious.
No.
In life as a chef, within your family, within everything else, it's destruction. It's devastating.
Yeah.
You have to really have a passion and it's really about the food. It really is. It ain't about the fucking job. It ain't, because if
it was about the job or the money, no one would do this.
Nobody would do this. Exactly. Or they wouldn't do it successfully.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So everyone asks, how do you keep staff? I don't know how you don't. I just know what I have to do. It's not, there's no recipe I have to keep my staff or keep this and keep the turnover low.
Yeah.
There's no recipe. I come in the kitchen, work with them, pay them decent, be respectable, demand only what you would do. You know what I mean? Don't over demand. There's a lot of things I can sit here and say, but the burnt hands perspective, this whole show, this whole series of what we're doing, is going to bring out a lot of what that means. So it's just the burnt hands is that the ups and downs of life, the good parts of shit, the bad parts of shit, brings it all together. And really, honestly, it's really what comes out on the plate. Yeah. It all comes out as, I'm going to get you this time, sucker. Every fucking plate should come out that way.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure you pay back every person that walks through your door, whether you like them, dislike them. Someone wants to question the steak's not cooked right. All right, bring that motherfucker here. We're going to do it again. Now check it out.
If not, you'll take a bite of it and give it right back to them.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. I think it tastes wonderful. I don't know what the hell you missed, but it's cooked right.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we kind of know more about you, which was the purpose of this, just to kick this off and people to actually know kind of more about who you are versus just this persona or, whatever they've read about. But what can be expected from the burnt hands perspective? Like what are the things we're going to dive into? So we're going to dive into your checkered past, which is one of them, where we're going to talk more about what you alluded to a minute ago. So we're going to talk more about that. I mean, one of the words you came up with for this is the pussification of the restaurant industry.
Yeah, we'll probably get some winces on that one, but I don't care. So what you can expect from this is exactly that. You're going to expect the truths of what goes on in the kitchens. You're going to expect some good responses and interviews from people who are also in the industry. That's to come.
Yeah.
You're going to expect downright dirty conversation. Debauchery. Buffoonery, tomfoolery, and you're also going to see tomfuckery.
It's like one level up.
Burbonious comments.
Yeah. So, and obviously we'll start pairing some of your favorite food, wine, drinks, things like that along the way. So anybody who is in the restaurant business, I mean, they're either going to love it or hate it.
They're going to love you. You're either going to love me or hate me. And regardless, I don't really care, because this is something that I do care. I'd rather you love me for being an asshole than not. But, I'm not an asshole. Unfortunately, a lot of the topics we talk about and a lot of things we cover are backed by assholism.
Yeah.
It's just an asshole situation. So it makes the person speaking about it the asshole, but all he's really doing is reciting everyday shit that we deal with. So I'm the purveyor of asshole. I'm not the asshole. I'm just a purveyor of such. You know what I mean?
Asshole adjacent. I don't know what that.
We're going to piss some people off. We're going to make some people laugh.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can come along to ride with us and do it and be there with us laughing. And that's where we're going to go with this thing. That's where we're going to go.
So what we're going to do is this is going to be something that everybody can look forward to at the end of every episode. So in this business, there is a ton of hate, and there's a ton of...
Haters gonna hate.
The worst part is that anybody as a keyboard warrior can go on Yelp, can go on YouTube, can go on Google, whatever they want to do, and leave a shitty review. So we're going to, in the spirit of that and the way you deal with things, opposed to probably most restaurant owners who are trying to toe the line and make everybody happy, you choose not to toe
Let
that
me touch on that
so
real quick.
we're gonna read at the end of every episode a mean tweet per se, a mean review, so you can respond. So everybody has that to look forward to at the end of every episode.
Correct, and I can't wait.
It's gonna So we're gonna do
wait.
our
So
first
check this
one.
out. Let me just get into that a second.
Make your point.
We have a very quick way to say this. Everyone who writes a review, 90% of them are just pissed off because they didn't get the goddamn red carpet thing they thought they should have got. And that's the end of it. And a lot of restaurant owners don't reply properly, giving these people the right to do it. So, if people were held accountable or at least told the truth or at least responded to a little bit differently than, come on in and I'll give you a gift certificate.
Yeah.
Or, hey, if you change that review, I'll swap it out for this. No, fuck your review and fuck what you think, because what you think is not right. However, if it is right, please come in and I'll give you a gift certificate. There's a huge difference between what you're saying is right and holy shit, you just had a bad experience, or fuck your bullshit
Just
review.
try to get shit for free.
Yeah, that's a big thing, getting stuff for free.
All right. So here it is.
All right, let's see. Do I know about these? Let me see here. All right, cheers.
So picked one, totally random. So you have to
look at
read
this.
it.
This is
I want you to
fucking
do a dramatic
lovely.
reading of it first. So please do a dramatic reading of said review,
yeah.
and then you can respond.
Well, I have my response on that one. Should I read it? Okay, here we go.
Go for it.
Reader, Leo. Okay, here he is. And I read, you should come here only if you hate yourself or think your own farts don't stink. This place is a sad joke. Overpriced food and a pretentious chef.
Ding.
Ding. Owner, this guy, and manager, combination, really let this dumpster fire shine bright. I have a dumpster fire story too one day.
Okay.
All right. Do your wallets and stomachs a favor. There's a better Italian at Vino or Aldo's. They're great places too. I recommend them. Or even their original location. That's mine, downtown. So thanks for the insult, douchebag. Too bad they can't garnish their plates with their own ego. We do.
You do. It's
Yeah,
on
of course
everything.
I do.
It's
So
like
called
sprinkled
microgreens.
around.
Yeah. Maybe the quantity and quality of food would be better than the dreck they churned out. The worst part is when this place inevitably closes. They're going to tell themselves it's because they were too good for the area. That was that review. He's a fucking genius. This guy's a really good writer here. Obviously, something fucking wrinkled his panties up good. Or his wife's panties, or something happened here.
Or he didn't get
Bro, if your
panties
wife
at
said she liked the tattoo guy, don't get mad at me. It's not like what the fuck you want from me? I can't help it. I'm just kidding. No, but listen here, man. This is some bullshit. Here was my reply. I replied, and I'm going to read it back. Interesting. And I haven't read this, by the way, since I wrote it in 2023.
This was a bit ago, so.
Yep, so let me read it back, because I'll probably laugh at myself. Interesting. This is an amazing review. We share service with over 1,000 guests a week with an amazing clientele base. Absolutely true. I'm sure your fart comments are really going to make them all realize they should really listen to your opinion and stop coming here. They should. That's really great. You sound like a critic I would really consider listening to myself. I'm sure you have a lot of fine dining experience by the way you gracefully navigated your words like a poet. As far as us closing, we close every night, and the staff all takes a minute to catch our breath from being so fucking busy all night. When we all discuss how lucky we are to have been accepted in this great area. Leo, you are a clown. I could care less about what hurt you here at Luce Secundo. I have grown up things to do now, with guests who depend on us weekly. The pretentious chef My name is Tony, by the way. You don't get to call me chef. Hey, fuck you, Leo, and your fucking
and your 1-star review.
And your 1-star review. I give you a fucking 0-star review because you suck.
I give you one
1-star
one
review,
middle finger.
right?
That's it. Yeah, that's a
And that's that. So that's what we're going to do at the end of every one. Now, what we're also going to do is I'm not going to read a reply. I'm actually going to reply to them on
You're going to reply.
There are certain platforms that don't allow us to comment, and that's what sucks. So these people can come out with some crap like this. And now, don't get me wrong. If there is a legitimate excuse, right? If there's a legitimate excuse, or complaint rather, not excuse.
Yeah.
If there's a legitimate complaint, we absolutely look through every review. We go through every review. So does every restaurateur. Nobody is in this business to fuck up. Nobody.
No.
Some people fuck up naturally. Some people don't know how to get it right, so it looks like they're fucking up. But nobody wakes up in the morning, right, and says, I'm going to fuck up.
I'm going to fuck up everybody's dinner tonight.
That's right. No one does that. No one.
And there's human error. There's room for human error. Things happen.
Right.
So
exactly.
it's never going to be perfect. So.
But this douche right here, these people make us laugh. So what they don't understand is while they're reading it, there's also a subgroup that reads this shit too. Yeah. Our employees, our restaurants, other restaurants. We're a community. It's a small fucking world out here.
Yeah.
Right? So all of them share these things, and we joke you, dude.
Yeah.
Leo, you are the joke. We pass this around to pretty much every restaurant to see and compare who has the most ridiculous bullshit review.
Yeah.
So just so everyone out there knows that when you walk in and review your thing, there is a subculture of people like us who are passing this shit around, and you are labeled, my friend.
Yep,
you are labeled. And don't let us fuck around and saw you had a reservation with a full name and everything, because we'll go right on everyone's platform.
We'll go find
it. You're labeled.
We're going to find your family.
We're labeled.
We're finding everybody on Facebook. We go full FBI mode on
That's
your
it.
ass.
We are going to go in there, and we're going to fuck up your whole dining experience
your whole
everywhere
world,
you go.
Everywhere you go.
Hey, Leo's here. Hey, Leo.
I think that the restaurant business in general, it's such an incestuous small community.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if we say ride or die, like I could call anyone from any of the 12, 15 restaurants I was in and say, I need you here tomorw to do whatever it may be. It could be legal, illegal, everybody going to show up.
That's right. There could be one of my nemesis. Could be a chef down the street.
Yeah.
But if there's a shitbag chef or cook that left me and wants to go there and he calls me, oh, fuck you, dude. Yeah. Me and that nemesis just became buddies for a minute, and you're fucked.
Yep,
you know what I mean?
much.
This world is this big, and the people who are successful in it did not become successful overnight.
No.
It took us a long time. We have a long fucking connections. We do not burn bridges, and if we do burn the bridge, we keep a little piece of it in case we got to build that bitch back together.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. We're too small.
Yeah.
So, Leo, this was your fault.
Yep.
It was your fault.
It was your fault, Leo.
You did this to you, Leo. I had nothing to do with it.
Nobody wants you here.
Leo, I.
You can't sit with us.
Eyes for fucking ignorant. All right.
So we are going to cover a lot more in the upcoming.
We have a lot
just the kickoff.
Yeah, this is just, right. This is a warm up.
Get ready, y'all.
God damn, this mic
you're going
feels
to need
good.
a drink.
You
might not want to do that to the microphone.
Bad. Yeah, let's back that out of there. No, keep it, man. That's what we do. If you see all the grab assing and bullshit we do back there, you would be fucking stoked anyway.
Everybody would be in jail or canceled in this industry.
And anyone seeing it for the first time might run and never come back.
If you're not in it,
It's great.
And the grit part we'll talk about in a lot when we have a lot of guests, local chefs, even bartenders, female perspectives. So, it's not just going to be your mug all the time. Your ego does take up a lot of this room. So,
hey, man, listen.
Ego-driven chef.
You know what I am? I'm just a loving guy.
You are.
I'm a bag full of fucking hugs.
All right. Better than a bag full of dicks. So,
not that.
Right. It's okay. Nope. But on that note, we will continue this conversation. So,
okay. Ciao for now.